fans, welcome to Music Nation Speaks with me, Joe, where I use this platform to chat and learn from people who are passionate in what they do and authentic in who they are from all walks of life. So before we get into, today's guests and topics, a little bit of housekeeping to do as per usual. Right, so Music Nation is now offering a package of 12 sessions for singing and songwriting. So sessions will be done online and they'll be conducted by none other than yours truly. The cool thing about these sessions is that you can do them anytime. It doesn't have to be weekly. So if you would like to sing or write 3 times a week, 4 times a week, up to you. That's completely fine. So DM us on Instagram, Facebook, or send us an email to sign up today and get started on your music journey. And I can't wait to, help you do that and start exploring, in the world of music and songwriting and, do the whole creativity and expression thing. All right. So Music Nation's Instagram is Music Nation MY. And our Facebook is Music Nation. And our email is musicnationempire@gmail.com. All right. So that's it for today's announcements. I hope you guys are keeping safe. Thank you for tuning in as per usual. And if you like what you hear today, please share it with your friends and your family. All right. So today's guests are none other than Team Small Fries. We have Pei Ru and Jeng Foong. Hello.
I'm the small fry. You're not that small.
I am smaller.
Jeng Foong, you're with,
Hi, everyone.
the Small Fry team, so you're part of us already. I don't care.
Are you 5 feet tall?
Well, you have to call me out like
Okay, I'm under you, so I'm smaller than you. I'm a smaller fry.
I'm quite small compared to other guys as well. So
I feel like you're
we're all small people here.
like for me, right? Like I know that I'm not exactly 5. I'm like 5'1", 5'2", because like I know if I'm any shorter, I cannot ride the roller coaster in the theme parks. So that's my achievement in life.
Have you ever been stopped? Have you ever been stopped for going anywhere?
On rides because of my height? Is it?
Anywhere, rides or anything. Like,
Okay, when I was studying in the US,
movies or something. Like, are you 18?
yeah, when I was in the US, every time we go to a pub or a bar, right, they will ask, can I have your passport? Can I see some ID, please? Every time confirm. Until the day I left, I was already almost 25. They're still like, can I have your ID, please? I'm like, okay, thank you. Yeah. But I bet you guys also lah.
Same.
All right, so quick question before we dive into, our list of topics to discuss today, everything about creativity, how you guys, express yourself and what kind of things that you guys do individually and together. I feel like it's very important, especially when we touch on keeping sane, how are you guys keeping sane right now? It's been a year and a half of this.
I think the start of lockdown was quite exciting, I would say.
Yeah, because everything's new,
It's like survival mode.
Yeah. Living together alone or like you're stuck at home. Everything is still new. You like things are coming in. You can try things online.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so fun, man. I missed the first lockdown. Oh my God.
And then
I
it's
think
like,
it gets...
ooh.
Yeah. It gets more and more tiring and like but yeah. I mean it's very ironic because telling him, right, this podcast comes on the back of like I think I was very tired the past 2 weeks actually. I wasn't very sane the past 2 weeks. And we kind of identified why and all that stuff, and just about working through it lah.
Yeah.
Through creativity is very important.
Do you mind sharing what were the some of the things that or triggers that weren't keeping
Of course. I mean, like to me, I mean, lockdown. I mean, I think we are all like very fatigued, right? COVID fatigue,
Yes.
And I think in addition to that, like the fact that there seems to be no end to things.
Yes.
You get very like that feeling.
Yes.
And then I think work has been really tiring for me the past 2 weeks. Like
Yeah.
I kind of prioritized work a lot because I knew it was very important. And I was telling him, like, for the past 2 weeks, I actually didn't do anything for myself. I had no time for myself. If you know me, right, I do yoga, I do sewing,
Yes.
and all that stuff. I did none of that last 2 weeks,
Right.
and I was on the back of the whole vaccine after effects. I
Oh.
was having some health things, it was just like one thing after another.
Yeah.
And then today was the day this weekend was the weekend I went I think I need to do things for myself.
Yes.
And so I'm trying to get back on track.
Put yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, it's kind of the opposite.
Why? In what way?
I haven't gotten any. She's been very busy at work. I haven't gotten any work since MCO began.
This new one,
Yeah.
new
Yeah,
MCO.
things keep coming in. You hear like, oh, we have a job coming in, but it's not confirmed yet,
Right.
and then it stops there.
Right.
It's a creative industry
Yeah.
thing. Can't shoot,
Definitely. It's like, I mean, the musician life is the same. It's like, oh, you might get a gig, things might open up again. And then before anything is confirmed, it just stops there. And you're like, is this gig on or not? Is life going on or not? Yeah. But are you in the freelancing world, Jeng Foong?
Yeah, I draw storyboards. I'm a freelance storyboard artist. So yeah, currently the whole industry is kind of halted.
Yeah.
Because we can't shoot. So no work for. This is the first time I've had no work for 2 months in 5-6 years now. So it's quite a shock.
Right.
Quite a shock to the.
On my
to
end,
the
we're still pushing to
system.
shoot on my end, because I'm also in advertising. We're pushing to shoot, but I mean, it really depends on the regulations, right?
Right.
So I think we're all planning in hopes that it will be lifted. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so that things can at least things can get a move on, I feel, and then keep our sanity, going as well. Because for me, I like this last this current lockdown is, I think, the worst, because like you said, Ru, like the uncertainty of things, there's no light at the end of the
20,000.
tunnel kind of feeling.
Yeah, things just keep getting worse.
Yeah.
The longer we pause, the higher the numbers rise.
Right. And we were kind of like promised, like if we stay home, we might get a reward, but
It got even worse.
so now it's like kind of like grasping in the dark, like the first year, like last year, like we were still, like me included with like fellow musicians, we are still like, oh, let's go on lives, let's do a live performance, on Facebook, on Instagram, things like that. If there's no opportunities, why don't we create one? We, be our own venue, our own whatever. But now it's just like throw in the towel, flip table, never mind, we just wait, that kind of feeling. Yeah. So all right.
I remember that. I remember there was this point where you guys were able to do this live stream thing, and then suddenly cannot.
Yes.
I was like, oh man, it was such a shame.
Is it the one at Jautim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
wow,
people,
that's okay.
and you. To me, it seems. Cannot find the words. Also,
Sakit. Sakit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. Haven't spoken in so long.
Yeah.
Also that.
Before
You can
this,
expect a lot of that from me as well.
it's just like having conversation in your own brain, but you don't know how to verbalize it anymore. There's no words. For the Jautim thing, I really respect John, and I really respect the venue. Like they were trying and they were trying to keep things afloat, keep musicians, involved and things like that. But
I love that venue, man. I love that venue. We miss dancing at the venue as well.
yeah, I remember. That was the first time I saw you guys, but I didn't know who you guys were because our mutual friend is Yvonne. Shout out to Yvonne. Hello. So we were doing. Yvonne was hosting the Sunday jam session.
Mic jam, we call it, yeah.
Yeah, jazz jam session, and then she had the Lindy Hop community at Jautim, and so it was, I think that was my first or second time attending that jam session, and it was so cool because as musicians, very often we are just like singing to a bunch of people sitting down and just staring at us. drinking, eating, sometimes not even listening, But it was so cool to have, movement and people responding to what we're doing on stage. It's like a call and response, and it was beautiful and it was riveting, and you guys were in your dresses and costumes and your dance outfits, and it was so eloquent. That was
I'm
the
actually
word that I
quite
would use.
curious about your experience with that because uh, with the way the dance floor is structured in Zhaodim or most other places actually, we dance right in front of you.
How do
and
you feel about that?
Yeah, you don't have a stage, and usually the audience will be able to see you.
Yes.
But because we're all dancing in front of you,
Yeah.
all they see is us. And do you feel like the
Swirling.
spotlight is kind of taken away from you?
Well, okay. Personally, not really, because it feels really good to have a response, a bodily response to what we were doing on stage. Like, because you guys are moving with the beats and with the lyrics, that kind of thing. So to me, it felt like a collaborative performance instead of you guys stealing the spotlight, I would say, because the in my mind, the audience are looking at you guys but hearing us.
Yeah. What if we are not
Yeah.
good dancers though?
That would be good entertainment for
What if we're
everybody.
dancing
Like this was discussed back when I was dancing in the UK also. So I think I don't remember if this was unspoken rule about like bands. So like basically, if you're dancing to a live band, you try to dance in front, you dance to the side, and you always acknowledge the band after you're done. You must look back at them and clap, and then only exit the floor.
Oh.
There was also that lah, but I guess that's for like if you're crashing something, But
Right.
if it's an event for dancers, I guess it's a different story. I take the floor, But like, but always still acknowledge the singers, the band, the musicians.
So that's like a dance
Yeah.
etiquette lah, kind of.
I don't know if it's practiced like everywhere, but it's just something I was told. I'm more wary about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Have you have any of the audience given you feedback on events like these? Like were they like you where they don't mind the dancers, or do you think like do you have some audience members who are there for the
Say the
band
dancers
performance?
kacau, move.
You can feedback.
I haven't heard. I might not be the best person to ask. Yvonne might be a better person to ask because she's but from the few, like maybe 3 times that I've attended and sung, so far, I think number one, people who don't who wouldn't appreciate it, they wouldn't be there in the first place, like dance and music, that kind of thing. And number two, I feel like even if they were even if they felt bothered by the thing, or if they were just there for the music, or that kind of thing, like I generally, I don't know, like these people seem like they enjoyed it. Yeah, so I haven't gotten any like negative feedbacks or whatever. But plus, you guys are really good dancers, and it's so entertaining.
I also feel like because it's quite rare as well.
Yeah,
like,
you
this
don't
kind of
see that
scene,
around
yeah.
here. Yeah,
I think maybe if we keep doing this, they start to feel a bit more tired about it. But now it's too
it's not even a thing now, bro. It hasn't been a thing for 2 years almost.
The first time we see, it's like, oh, cool dancers. The 54th time
they're gonna miss us. They're gonna miss us because they haven't seen us in 2 years. Almost 2 years, right? Have you been COVID for 2 years? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Almost 2 years. Well, next year will be
Crazy.
2 years already. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of which, let's dive deep into the list of questions that I am very busybody about.
Ask the questions.
Can it's a collaborative effort. So, audience, listeners, if you guys don't already know, Pei Ru and Jeng Foong, they are a couple, and a little backstory is I met them through the Zhao Team jazz jam event where they were dancing and we were doing music, and but I didn't know their backstory, so I would like to ask on behalf of the audience, how did you guys meet and how did you guys end up dancing together, or was it dancing together first and then together?
It's funny because the first time we met, she's been dancing for a while already. She was dancing Lindy Hop, right? And they were doing these free classes before taster classes before socials, and I was late to the class. Right? I probably was like 5 or 10 minutes late. So I joined into the dance circle. So what was happening in the circle was there's few seasoned dancers already, some experienced dancers already in
We're
the
helping
circle,
out.
right? But me going in, I didn't know that. I thought everyone was newbie like me, right? So, so after the class and everything, we started social dancing, right? And I danced with her. And after our dance, she started giving me feedback on my dancing, telling me like what I can do better. And I was
To
just, like,
improve.
was looking at this. Look at this bitch. She thinks so much better than me.
Who does she
then I
think
found
she
out.
is?
Yeah.
It was also a thing I think among senior dancers recently. You know, we've been telling you, oh, don't give unsolicited feedback. Maybe I shouldn't have given feedback then. But point is that's the story of how we first met.
Yeah, right.
Like that. Yeah. So we've been dancing for 2 years at that point. 2-3 years at that point. I don't remember already. But that's how we first met. And I think that was like 8-9 years ago.
2012.
You remember? I should remember the years.
Yeah.
Very bad at numbers.
Wow.
June 2012.
It's like 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah. Yeah, 9 years ago. And we've been dancing. I mean, we're not partners. We have never been partners because swing dancing, it's like, you go and mix and match, jumpo.
Right.
And then we got together like.
No, we were teaching.
Oh, we did teach. We taught about
couple of years in.
4 years in.
Yeah, she came back from the UK and we started teaching together. She was my first teaching partner. Right? So that's
still not the reason why we got together.
I mean, that's probably when we got closer.
Yeah.
Then we became really close friends. Then we just got together recently.
Yeah, because we were seeing other people in between also. Like that though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, was it nice to see each other, in, I mean, even as when you guys were friends, was it nice to be in the same kind of circle, same kind of community and seeing each other, being, seeing each other good at that element?
What do you mean?
Per se?
You guys
Cannot
involved in
English.
it.
Sorry.
Were we? Are you trying to say like were we impressed by each other? Like
yeah.
Were we admiring each other in terms of that?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, I've always held great admiration for the way he teaches. He's actually one of my favorite dance teaching partners because Jeng Foong is a very, very like structured, logical guy. I don't know how to explain it. Like I remember once we were planning a class and then you were trying to tell me how to teach a move and he actually drew out stick figures.
Yeah, that didn't help.
To break.
It did.
No, it did help. You broke it down into little stick figures. I just like the way his mind works because I'm like a very like feely fala person and I go with the feels. This is how it should feel. Like he, on the other hand, you talk about how things should be, like how it moves, like common sense, like like you break things down. The way I wouldn't. Yeah.
Right. So it's funny because the way we approach a dance might be the opposite of
it's
that.
actually very different. I think we're very different people in like the way we approach dance.
She would be into the whole. I guess it's most people. They would know the phrases of the song and like where it ends and where it stops and the what.
I don't know.
1 to 8 steps.
Like the beats or.
Yeah. For me, the way I dance with the dancers we dance is very much going with the feel. Just listen to music and just
going with it.
Try to dance.
That's
what
the
I
dancing
hear.
part. The teaching part is very different.
Yeah.
We're opposites in that.
So what I'm hearing is like Pei Ru, you're like, the more not to say by the book, but more classically trained in musical terms.
Actually, she is.
I have a background in music. I mean, I was learning piano for like, I don't know, like 10, 15 years. Okay, don't ask me to play a song. I can't play anymore. But like, I have a bit of music background. So like, I bring that to the
dance
class. On the other hand, brings the more, it was to the dance as well.
Right.
Yeah, all I've done is listen to music.
Yeah. So for you, Jeng Foong, you're like, you're basically, just expressing what you're listening lah.
Yeah, it's more intuitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're more intuitive. I've got an
Right.
arsenal of moves in my
Right,
head.
yeah,
I'm the
yeah,
other way
yeah,
around. Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm like Chinese schoolgirl.
Same.
I got that.
Yeah, ask me to improvise on stage, die lah.
Correct. I feel you. I feel you.
Very scared. All right, so next, I think the next thing that I want to go into is more on like the creativity side of things first before we dive deeper into what is the whole genre, what is swing jazz pula. I'm going into music side.
dancing.
Swing dancing, and then the different branches under swing dancing and things like that. So, what do you think? For both of you, what do you think your creative superpower is?
For me, I think my creative superpower is I really, really am not afraid to try something new, and I really, really okay. And like, I feel like with a lot of people, they're very scared to be creative or like even try because they're afraid of failing. And like, I really don't care. Like,
Right.
I don't really care. So I think that's my creative superpower, and I think I take things with a pinch of salt lah. So I don't aim for perfection.
Uh-huh.
I just aim to create, and I feel good about it already.
Yeah, just taking the first step, and you're like, yes, I've done it. Now let's see where this goes.
Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere. Just turn back. Try something else. Try something else.
I will see you on the mats, Ru, and we.
Yes, it's been a while. It's been a while.
For those of you guys who don't know, me and Pei Ru, we do jujitsu together, and that's how we've gotten, to
Closer.
much closer. Yeah.
Very close.
Yes.
I remember I
We shared sweat together.
shared sweat
Oh, yes.
together. I've accidentally smooshed her nose before. We've done all these
Yeah,
things.
nose, boobs, butt, all those things, everything. Yeah. What about
We touch each other.
what about you, Jeng Foong? Like, what do you think your creative superpower is?
I'm not sure what that means actually. It's a creative superpower. Can you answer that so I know how to process that question?
I think for me, is I think in terms of I see teaching as my creative outlet as well. So what my superpower is in that realm of creativity is knowing, breaking things down for my students a lot easier, noticing the little things, the nuances in their singing, so that I can help them better. And it takes like a little bit of thinking outside the box. Yeah, so I think thinking outside the box is my creative superpower.
That sounds like you.
Maybe in a sense because I do a few different things, right?
Do tell.
I do physical activities like jujitsu, dancing,
Yes.
right? Working out. And then there is also my my work side, or my the way I've known to do creativity, right? Like which is drawing. And I went to animation school, right?
Oh,
Drawing
nice.
school,
Where?
art school. The One Academy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think your knowledge from all these different places, they come together in a sense, right? Because let's say I start working out, right? Then I know how muscles work or how movement work, right? Then I go into animation, I know how to I know how to animate a body, let's say, or draw a body.
You understand anatomy.
Yeah.
How it works.
Right. And then because of animation, maybe I know how, let's say, if you learn animation, if you learn how to draw a moving object, there is a few stages of movement, right? There is the anticipation, which is where, let's say you want to make a jump, let's say that's the action, right? There's the anticipation part where
you
prep for the action,
right?
Which is, let's say you go down and then you bounce up.
You bend your knees to jump.
Yeah. And there's a stretch and whatnot and all these kind of things. And then that understanding translates to, let's say, dancing, right? Like swing dancing, or Lindy Hop.
It's about stretch and release.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that.
All these kind of things. And also the steps the basic steps. It starts off with a rock step
Right.
to a triple step that goes forward. So the rock step is to generate movement. That is basically the same thing, the anticipation. And so I think it's just all the things that we've done in our lives just kind of come together, help in your understanding of other things you learn.
Yeah, that's why you're very good at breaking things down. I think that's what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe that's what it is for you as well, Joe. You know?
Hopefully. Because before this,
Yeah, it's kind of like how your piano knowledge or your piano
Helps with a bit understanding
education.
the music a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
I guess. Not much, but enough.
you can draw things to relate to, what you're doing, and then from what you're doing, you relate to other things as well. It all kind of
Yeah.
flows also, like just like how.
Yeah.
I
Because
think-
everything's connected, right?
I think
Everything's
it's so
the same.
yeah. When you think about it, I mean, we're talking about creativity here,
Yes.
right? And I feel like as I don't know if this is a thing, but I feel like kids need to be more creative. Like parents need to let kids try different things.
Tell
Like
me
go
about
ahead,
it.
man. Don't always just study. This is where you start drawing influences, man.
Yeah. And literally help shape them who they will become as an adult.
Correct. I mean, I think about it, right? I mean, I was playing the piano for 10 to 15 years, I can remember, right? And I don't remember. I'm not good at it. I honestly am not good at playing piano. I mean, people always get distinction. I'm always like a pass, That's all I have.
Grades don't matter, okay, in music.
yeah. I used to be very like, kind of like resentful, towards my mother. Like, why do you send me the piano when I want to do gymnastics, or something like that? And then actually, when you think about it, right, even though piano did not really benefit me in terms of the fact that I can become a very good pianist, but I have a feeling it probably wired your brain to be something else, like maybe multitasking. Because, when you study music, you need to be able to, read, process, play, both hands, 10 fingers, your legs
pedal.
are going somewhere else. Yeah, I mean, so I'm pretty sure that would have actually rewired me to be good at something else as well. So,
Right.
I mean, yeah, I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah. Okay. So drawing. So how would you summarize your superpower, Jeng Foong?
I don't think I have one. I think I don't think I have a creative superpower. I just think I have the same thing as everybody else. It's just that I've done some things and it's benefited me in the ways I just mentioned.
It's an advantage, I guess. I wouldn't really say it's not superpower.
I think the more things you try out or the more deeply you dive into things, you gain things that you can use elsewhere.
Right. Does it give you a different perspective as well?
Like Pei Ru said with dancing, maybe the understanding of movement mechanics has helped me a bit. With dancing.
Right.
And yeah.
Okay.
I can't really think of anything else.
I don't think you would call it superpower. I would see it as just a creative advantage, right? You just have that.
Okay. All right. Then, what does creativity mean to both of you guys, and how do you express it?
We were just talking about this over dinner. We were just saying creativity is just really the ability to create, right? Just make something. For me to create is a sort of form of validation, right? Like it's like kind of proving to yourself that you're able to make something, not just consume things all the time.
Right.
And I feel like that is very empowering because you create something, you made something, it's just from you.
Yeah.
You feel like you're very capable and it's very empowering in that sense. And that's just what creativity means to me. It's not necessarily what people say, like, oh, you're so creative. It's like, it's not about being original, like always creating original stuff.
Right. And it doesn't have to be good also, right?
No, it doesn't. I mean, when it's great if you can produce something good because, but the pursuit of perfection is not something I look for. Like, it's just really growth, right?
Right.
Yeah. Just make, yeah.
For me, that word actually carries a lot of weight.
How so?
Personally, because growing up, I was always the outcasty type,
the black sheep.
the black sheep type. Yeah.
What did you do?
A bit weird.
What did you not do?
I was bad. I wasn't very good at socializing, right? So I kind of did the opposite to get attention, right? Which is I was the weird kid who who ate the bugs, got into fights and got in trouble with the teachers, but not in a cool way, not in like a gangster way. Just I was just a weird kid, The teacher was like, "Oh, I don't know what to deal with this nonsense."
Right? They don't know how to deal with you.
Yeah, so
You're a monkey.
I was also an only child at home with two working parents, right? So I had a lot of time alone, right? So I think we all need friends, right? For me,
Especially now.
because I didn't have that. Yeah, because I didn't have that, I kind of had to come up with something for myself. We all need a companionship and whatever that comes with having friends, right? So for me, I didn't have that, so I had to come up with one myself, which is like a imaginary world, right? So I had an imaginary friend and everything, like to explore the realms of my imagination together,
Right.
And the thing with imagery in your brain is it's very blurry, right? Everything is gray and just gray clouds, right?
Okay.
So to fully immerse myself in my imaginary experience, right? I had to find a way to solidify the clouds, right? So what I did was I drew a lot. So I drew.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, I would draw things out so I can, actualize what I see. So it makes more sense,
Yeah.
right?
Instead
So I
of
was
just
drawing a
it
lot.
being in your head, right? Like when you draw it out,
Exactly.
it becomes
Yeah.
more real.
Real. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So I was drawing a lot, right? I was drawing at home whenever I wasn't playing. I was drawing at my babysitter's, at my relative's house. I was drawing in school, right? When the teachers are teaching.
And when you're
Right.
supposed to not be drawing,
I've seen his report card. I've seen the report card.
do we want to know?
Yeah. So obviously that negatively impacted my results. Right? So my parents would send me to tuition class. And guess what? I would also draw in tuition class. I was drawing all the time.
Bring back how does it bring back to creativity? Going very far.
So that obviously didn't go unnoticed, right? And so everyone would just call me, "Oh, he's very creative. He's like drawing all the time. He's a creative kid, right?"
Because you're different.
So
Because you're
everywhere
different.
everyone I met,
Yeah.
I am labeled as the creative guy, the creative person, right? So it's always been this big label, right? And that has come with its own little
Right.
this and that, right? Like
Pros and
you
cons.
start making decisions. You start making decisions because you're still a kid. I was still a kid, right? So I didn't really know. I'm still a halfway person. I'm
Right.
still a work in
You're
progress.
a soft-boiled
right?
egg, not yet full boil.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So then later on, as I grew up, I started getting better at socializing, and I started having friends. Right. So all of a sudden, the whole reason I needed to be to draw so much in the first place, or be the creative person in the eyes of many in the first place, is gone, right? Because I have friends now. I don't need to
Because you're not lonely
create an
anymore.
imaginary world. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't have an imaginary world to draw.
Yeah.
So then now is exactly the same thing, right? I no longer have the output. I no longer have the reason to do what I used to do, to channel creativity.
Right.
It's different already. It's probably just different, like
Yeah.
different form of
So I
creativity.
think for me right now, I'm still trying to figure out how to deal with that hole that needs to be filled, because there's nothing obvious that jumps out to me how to feel the
It's no
whole.
longer as big a thing. I feel like your
Yeah.
creativity shows up in little things you
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
It's not so much like one whole label anymore.
Yeah.
It's actually funny when I read how you titled this podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, are we a creative? Are we the creative couple?
I feel like that's what people think. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like that's true. You know how he says friends call him creative? I feel
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
what it was for me also growing up. Same thing. But
Yeah,
I think that's how people see it. Like we don't feel it, but people think it is.
yeah.
Definitely.
It's funny because
Yeah.
we were just watching Forrest Gump, and was my first time watching it, and I think right now maybe it's like, oh, I've been trying so hard to find a way to be creative again, right? But then I watched that movie, and the movie is about the whole, you know, things just become, right? That's what it is, right? It's the feather floating in the wind.
Yeah.
It just goes wherever the wind blows, right? And that was how we weren't creative because we were trying to be creative, right? We just were.
You were just
Just
being.
do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, so deep. Man. Creative is being.
This is what happens when we're talking about keeping sane and also creativity. Like, but
Deep or not deep.
but then that brings me to another question. This is branching out already. Do you guys see, being labeled as or wearing the identity of being a creative person? Does that how do you feel about that? Because everyone is growing up with like, oh, Jeng Foong, you draw a lot, you're very creative, Oh, Ru, you play the piano, like, and then you're doing other things. I'm not sure what you did during your childhood, but you must have also been creative because now you're like sewing things and things like that, So like all of these things manifest itself. So like, and for me as well, like the only thing I knew how to do and was good at, was music. So I was automatically labeled as, oh, she does music, she's very creative, and she, blah, 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 blah. So how do you guys feel about, the identity or the labeling of being labeled as creative?
I'm okay on I'm actually quite proud of the label. Like I find that when I'm being creative, people, I mean, like they appreciate that. I think people like to see that also, like new stuff. They like to see that, oh, you're able to do that. They feel inspired. I'm not saying I'm a KOL or influencer, but like I think it's nice because I think we live in a society where everything is just consumption.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to produce, and I think people feel that as well. They can share that same joy. They can relate.
Yeah.
So I don't mind being creative because I feel like that brings joy to people. So
share it, lah.
so be it, lah. Share, no big deal. I think people feel a lot of pressure generally. I need to be perfect. It's like nah, just create, man.
Yeah.
How about you, man?
I don't know. I feel like it's just another. Like growing up, the label was another way for me to feel special, right? But now I feel like it's more a label I give myself, and then I get the pressure from that, right? Like everything I do, I feel like, oh shit, I need to be better than this.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a creative person.
I'm not sure if it's because of the label, but yeah.
I understand.
Well, growing up, it was just another. Oh, I'm different than other people because of this, and then I go to art school and like, fuck, I'm the same now.
Exactly. And everyone, or did you get a feeling of like, oh my goodness, I thought I could draw, and then you see other people's artwork, you're like, I'm terrible, and I need to work on my craft.
Yeah, exactly. And then couple that with the fact that I have no reason to draw anymore, and it's just out the window.
Right.
I have friends now. I don't know you imagine anymore.
This is slowly sounding like a Rick and Morty episode.
What?
Sorry, my mind went there. Then, why did you decide to go through art school if your reason for drawing is not there for you?
You know how I said you start making decisions because this is who you are. It's kind of the
Mm,
same thing, right? I didn't know what else I like or anything. This is all I knew,
yeah.
right? And in Form 4, I remember we were separated into classes because of our grades,
Oh
right?
yes.
From our grades, like, let's say
Science
you
stream,
got
art
better grades, you go
stream.
to science stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in science stream, and I made I thought, but I'm a creative person, so I should go to graphic but computer.
Ah.
Got graphic in the name, right? So that was a funny experience because once I applied to change class, I was called to the headmistress office,
Uh-huh.
and she actually it was so weird. She actually sat me down like a little kid, and she was like saying, oh, "You want to go to art stream?
You can study. Why
You're
you want to
smart,
go
mom."
there?
You smart.
Well, dumb people, It's like, it was a weird process, but yeah. Then I studied graphical computer.
Hmm.
Uh,
So did you change?
then all of a sudden, school ended, and the question came. I wasn't ready for the question. You didn't go through. I think some kids were, but I wasn't one of those kids that went to school knowing to think about the future. Right? I was just floating.
I think that's
Right?
most of us, right?
Yeah.
We don't really think about it. It's just
Yeah.
more
Then you
like-
got some like they are really they know who they want to be. I want to be doctor. Right? Like study every day, A+. Right? I'm not one of those.
Yeah.
But
I think that was me.
So-
Like I couldn't wait until I finished school, get that out of the way so that I could do, what I want to do musically. Like, because that was the only thing that I knew lah, basically. Yeah.
Do you still feel as passionate about it as you did before?
To be fair, no, but that's also why I started jujitsu. Yeah,
To try
like
something new.
something new so that I can learn how to appreciate music again. Like it was
Did it work?
oh definitely.
Yeah, I
How,
think-
how in what sense?
Um okay. I feel at some point, when I've been learning music since I was like 4 or 5 years old. So until last year, that means I've been doing it for I'm 27. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I've been doing music for 23 years, or 22 years, 23 years, right? So and that was all that I knew, all that I thought I was good at. And at some point it plateaued, like not only my growth as a musician, my growth as a teacher, um
and how you perceive music, probably.
yes, how I perceive music. There we go. So when I decided to start jujitsu, it was brand new. It was completely new. So like the perspective of, oh, I need to be humble again. I need to learn
I
how to
feel
ask
you.
questions again. I
Yeah,
need
man.
to, gonna smash again. That kind of thing. So not only do I feel like, oh, I put my body through this difficult thing, I can relax and go back to music, something that I'm good at, and continue to strive, but also relate to my students as students who are
Newbies.
coming, to learn music and kind of see how they approach things. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, that's how, I think I've told you this before. This is pretty much why I also started jujitsu and why I enjoy it, right? I'm not really good at it, but like, it's not about, like, it just feels good, like, like
Yes.
it makes you more humble, and it brings you perspective to the other things you do, that you're already good at, but you probably feel very jaded about,
Yeah. But Jeng Foong, why did you start jujitsu?
I've always been very interested in martial arts, and just also I feel like it's something I have to do. I have to know how to do.
In what way?
in the same way that knowing personal finance is something you should know how to do, like just knowing how to defend yourself. I look at this as more a self-defense kind of thing.
Yes.
He's been asking me to do jujitsu since like he started jujitsu, but it's just a word that was in my head. I was like, oh, whatever. Then one day, one fine day, I decided, you know what? Yeah, I went through something and somebody actually pitched the idea. My friend Dawn pitched the idea. Let's go do jujitsu, and I did it, and yeah, it stuck.
Mm.
Yeah.
So how many so Jeng Foong, you actually started jujitsu earlier than Ru, is it? Like how many years earlier?
I think a few months earlier.
Only a few months early, but he's so
Yeah.
much better.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Because I was already watching a lot of things related to jiu-jitsu
Comes
before
more
that,
naturally to him.
Ah,
I know some things already.
I see.
I mean,
Just not in practice. Yeah.
Right. Do you guys think that jujitsu is a creative kind of, martial arts?
I don't look at it that way.
is it creative? I mean, pretty sure there's some form of creativity in there, but like, I don't think I'm at that level where I see it as creativity. I see it
Yeah.
as really another pursuit that actually helps. It's healthy. It's a healthy pursuit. Yeah.
Mm.
I feel like with creativity, maybe what is needed for creativity is creativity is basically taking things from different places and combining it together, right?
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is, right? Because you're not creating any
You
things
need-
out of
yeah,
nowhere.
Yeah, it's not out of nowhere.
Right.
You need input, or else there's no output.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Jiu-jitsu.
I think we're not at the stage where we know enough about jiu-jitsu to be creative with it.
Mm.
But we
Make-
can take influences from
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu and pump and kind of like plug it into our
Yeah.
other creative pursuits, like dance and for youth music, lah.
Yes, which is the perfect, segue.
Segue.
I want to say gateway.
I forgive you, man. It's been a while. We don't talk to people anymore, so like words like
Not even our words or sentences anymore. Which is the perfect segue to get into swing dance in Malaysia. How did you guys get into swing dancing, and what are some of the different branches of it? Because when I was asking the questions, my question was like a Lindy Hop community in Malaysia, and then Pei Ru very kindly explained to me it's actually
more than that.
it's
Yeah.
more than that. So Lindy Hop is just it's like just one genre, and then you have different genre under this big umbrella. So what is it, and how did you guys get into it?
I mean, I was introduced to Lindy Hop because I've always had this thing for like vintage dances, vintage things, and my very good friend then she actually said, "Hey, there's this Lindy Hop thing, like, you want to try dance classes, So I did, and I think that time Lindy Hop has only been in Malaysia for like 1 year. Lindy Hop specifically. It's been around for only 1 year. It was very new. I think everyone that was teaching also probably learned from YouTube, or they just came from abroad where they learned it and they taught it to the crowd here. So yeah, it was very new then. And then I think you joined maybe about 2-3 when Lindy Hop was about 2-3 years old. Yeah, around that. So Lindy Hop is actually an African American dance. So it's dance to swing jazz. So your whole like big band music thing that you probably hear, like the Ella Fitzgeralds, your Louis Armstrong, Cap Calloway's. So it's a partner dance mostly.
Yeah.
And it has been in KL, I think, since 2000. I can't remember when already, but it's been a while already. So I would say it's pretty established already in KL. And yeah, I think we're probably like 12, 13 years already. Lindy Hop has been around. Can't remember, but
Okay.
and so under Lindy Hop, I mean, we most of us started with Lindy Hop, and then I think as we advance as a community, we've had teachers come in as well to teach things like Balboa, which is another form of swing dance. You dance to much faster music. You have things like I think you've seen the Charleston, right? So Charleston is sort of a type of like a subset of the dance, and actually naturally a lot of the dances, a lot of scenes in the world, so they also have a blues scene. I wouldn't actually consider blues a swing dance because it's not swing music. But it's kind of interconnected So they're both African American dances.
Yeah, it's from the same source. Maybe it might even preceded.
Yeah, I would say blues probably precedes Lindy
Yeah.
Hop because blues came first, probably. Yeah. So yeah, each of the dance have different feels lah. So yeah, I mean when I was in UK, I also learned another type of swing dance called shag, collegiate shag. Sounds nasty.
I was like, shagging who
People
now?
always like yeah. Go abroad and how to shag. So
Not far from the truth.
yeah, okay. Whoa,
Throwing
okay,
shade.
so yeah. I mean, there are different types of swing dances. So like, I mean, when you go to a South team, there are people who dance Balboa. So you see people dance Charleston, you see people dance Lindy Hop. It's just one of those things that as you progress as a dancer, you add on more to your arsenal.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Ah, okay. So what?
Yeah.
It kind of feels like that is very interconnected with the evolution of music as well. Like just like we know that.
Music is the core. Like
Right.
I think people ask like, what makes the dance, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't, it's never really the moves. It's the music that dictates
The moves.
the how you move, the moves, right?
Ah.
Because like you can take Lindy Hop music and dance it to Christina Aguilera. What's that song? Candyman. And you can, but it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right. You would think it can, but it doesn't feel as good. It's so it's never. It's always about the music. There is a start and there's such a set, and then there's an end.
Right.
Like yeah. So it's always the music.
Okay, then what made you guys get into it, like in the first place? Because like to me, dancing is very daunting. I'm already a very awkward person. The only time I dance is when I'm on stage with the mic and I sway. I don't even dance.
She can do blues. She can do blues. She can probably do blues. She can sway there.
Just sway like this, and then if there's a taxi and there, I just stop with it, or like use my hands to emphasize those beats. But it's very, to me, I feel like dancing is very vulnerable. And if with the whole body thing, right? Like it's so so scary. So what made you guys get into dancing in the first place?
I just had I like I said, like I really like the whole vintage thing, and like my friend was like, I was young. I was like, I just came out of high school. I was, I think, like 17, 18. I don't really care, and I'm always been a very extroverted person, so I'm all about community, friends, learning new things. That's fine.
Right.
So yeah, that's, for me, it's pretty a natural thing to do. What about
I'm
you?
a bit more introverted person, so it's
So
kind of
much
like
more.
the other way. So for me, kind of a late bloomer type. Like I said, I didn't really know how to. I didn't know how to date and all these kind of things, right? So I would watch shows like kids shows or whatnot, your cartoons or your High School Musicals, right? And like, there's always this romantic prom thing going on, and like you dance at prom and you fall in love and whatnot.
Yes.
I didn't get to go to prom. My school didn't have prom, so
Same.
so I missed the whole dancing thing. So I wanted to learn it, right? So I found, and I was also a cheapskate, right? Then I found that these people do
Free.
free classes, so that's how I joined. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, before that, I've always I was looking at dance videos, and this kind of dance looks pretty cool to me at the time.
Yeah.
Since then, I've opened up my taste a bit more,
Yeah.
but like at the time, the other dances that were available, more widely available, were what, salsa. That was very available. Maybe tango.
Yeah, I think, dance is, dance is just an activity in a way also.
Yeah.
And and it's also a way of expression. And I feel like you can pick a dance based on the sort of music you like. Right? Because I think that's the safest way to go about it. Like people are like, I want to learn dance. What dance do I learn? Go with the music you like. You're like,
it was more than just music for me. I would say that that was probably a big influencer. Right? I was more preferable to the jazz music than Latin music.
Salsa,
Right.
Didn't listen to them, but it was also the way that people were dancing.
The aesthetics as well.
The aesthetics of it. I think
Describe.
at the time, because you look at the competitions, the other dancers that I mentioned, the ballroom dancers, the men felt a bit feminist, like a bit more feminine.
Ah.
They looked a bit more feminine. It was very tight, sparkly clothing all the time, and like
Very flamboyant, is it?
a V
I
down to the
I
crotch.
don't think it's feminine. I think you're probably looking for
Well, at
this.
the time,
Yeah,
at the time I perceived it as feminine, right? It is what it is, and this type felt a bit more because it is more athletic, and the movements were less about beauty.
Yeah, I mean, like the way I feel about Lindy Hop is that it's a bit more of a relaxed dance. Relaxed not as in lazy, but but it's a bit more natural. It's more grounded.
Right.
So you have, I mean, like I was just thinking about it. It could be because of the influence of the dance, right? You got African American dancers. African dancers are a bit more connected to the ground. They worship the ground.
Right.
We worship earth. So it's a bit more lower, more down. So and then you have like your more Western ones, right, where it's a bit more ballroomy, up, heavens.
Everything is
So
lifted.
yeah. So it really depends on what appeals to you. So if you're somebody who likes that thing, I know a lot of people who like ballroom.
Right.
They like salsa. They like the sharp thing. They love the sharpness and all that. They love the glamour. I mean, that's for them. And then I think for me, maybe for him as well, I think it's a different sort of aesthetics that really appeal to us lah.
For me, since then I've opened up.
Right.
We try Argentine tango. That shit is hard.
Yeah.
Argentine tango, they say it's just walking. Walking has never been so hard.
like you have to twist your butt. Yeah.
No, it was just walking forward and back. I don't know.
I think because like the way we've been so used to dancing is so
relaxed.
one manner, because you've been so specialized in one regard, and then you have to look at something similar in a very different perspective, in a very different view,
Right.
which is how other people dance, so it was hard to become an empty cup again.
It's hard to unlearn. It's a lot of unlearning. We're not even learning, we're trying to unlearn. That's another process of its own.
Because there are a lot of similarities especially in the way these are all partner dances we're talking about, right? In the way in partner dancing we have generally two roles, the leader role and the follower role.
That was my next question actually. Like, what is the lead and the follow thing? I'm very curious about this dynamic.
Well, we're talking about two people moving, right, to music. If we have to be connected in some way to dance together, right? So there has to be listening and speaking. Like there has to be
listening and following.
Yeah. So the roles have to be there in that sense. If not, we just be doing our own thing and we're not connecting.
It's a call and response, right? Isn't it? Like
Yeah.
So I mean, in a very traditional way speaking, it's like leaders initiate the role, the move, the follows go with the move, right? Or like a call and response, you call or respond.
It's like, let's say if you want to bring someone somewhere, all right, or let's say we have to go somewhere, someone has to decide where to go. If not, there's just
nobody's
no journey.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it just arrived in a very natural way. If you want to move together, that it just has to be.
Yeah. But that's it. I mean, it's not a gender thing, right? It's not like guys are all leaders.
Yeah.
Girls are all followers. You can mix and match. You can, you can have guys leading and following too, likewise with girls. And I think the further you progress in the dance, right, you'll realize followers, you are not just following, like, there is an active following as well. Like, as a follower, you can even change the tides. Yeah. So like you can take control a little bit. Not saying you're leading the dance, but you have a power, you have a voice. Right. And yeah, so it gets more fun. I mean, that's what I love about like swing dancing. I mean, we've been doing it for like 10 years, right? Yeah. But you're always still trying to find that dynamic, that conversation. Like we're talking to each other, we're having a banter, right? you're the host, you're leading this conversation, but every now and then we can take over, right?
Exactly. And you
Yeah,
guys have been as
yeah, yeah.
well, you know? So,
That's what it is. It's like dances are basically conversations without words. It's really as simple as that. You connect with people, get to know them without words.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but like I was saying with the other dances, right? Like learning other dances, it's the dynamic is the same. Like there is leading and following,
Yeah.
right? So that aspect, a lot of the things are very similar in that aspect, but the way they go about it is different. It's like let's say I want to talk to people or something. We can use a lot of different languages, right? And in all these languages, you have your different you have your different grammars. It's the same way. So that's why it's quite hard to learn another language in this regard. Like let's say if you're very used to English or Mandarin, you try to learn Tamil, the whole grammar structure is different.
Yeah, the whole system is different.
Yeah. Learning that is very hard.
And
Right.
learning is harder than learning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But we go into the class and the teachers will know that we have danced before because you can't. A lot of things are still applicable.
Right.
Yeah,
It's just to be a perfect this other dancer of another dance. You have to do some things differently. Yeah.
Right. But some of the fundamentals are kind of the same, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
leading and following fundamentals I feel like are pretty much the same throughout most of the dances. I'm not saying
Yeah.
all. But yeah, I feel like going into a new dance, unlearning is the hardest part. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, what's nice about the umbrella of swing dances is there's so many.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to just move from like a lot of us start from Lindy Hop,
Yeah.
and then we probably pick up Charleston, and then we do Balboa, and then maybe do shag. And I think for us, we also do blues. And I think blues, I think he can tell you more about blues, but it's relatively new in KL. And it's I would say almost on the opposite spectrum of this.
Lindy.
Like it's different from Lindy. Yeah, Lindy, you have the very happy sort of music. You know, even the lyrics are not really that happy. You think about it. You know? The lyrics are a bit quite sad one, but the music is very happy. It's very energetic.
Yeah.
With blues, it's much more vulnerable. It's like it's such an old dance, right? Like, and to a point where because there's not a lot of recordings of the dance of how it started. So yeah, and the only way we actually get to know more about blues is actually through listening to the music, like when it first started to how it sounds like.
Right.
And blues is much more vulnerable, I feel, as a dance. Yeah, he likes blues because
I think a big difference with when I first learned blues, it was I think a couple of years into my dancing Lindy Hop already, swing dancing already, right? So with swing dancing, first class you go into, you start learning about steps. There's either 6-step or 8-step, 6-count, 8-count, right?
Okay.
And then with that structure, there are like certain movements that are fixed onto these counts already.
Okay.
With Lindy Hop, basically, it's very, very systemized. Like it's very, very codified as a dance. So we usually we make it easy for you to learn.
I think it's necessary. It's more necessary because the music might be faster as well. So you need some sort of way to make it
to connect them all
easier. Yeah. I'm not sure if the same applies to the music. I'm not very educated in that regard.
I would think of it as chord progressions. They are,
You see, 1 4 5 7 1.
Yes. From this chord, you go to this chord. Usually, if you want to produce this kind of sound, for example, the blues scales, da 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 da, you know, that kind of thing. And then if you want to improvise, this is the scale that you use to create this kind of sounds for this genre.
Right.
I'm relating it that way, lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it easier. Like I know, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, when I first studied music, they always tell me like, when you want to compose a song, that's part of the exam, right? I
Yeah.
give you like 2 bars and you compose the rest of the song.
Yep.
And like, but your teacher has already given you, here's the chord progression, just compose a song around it.
Yes.
That's kind of how we introduce
Lindy
Lindy
Hop.
Hop
I've
to a
tried
lot
to
of the
I've tried to
students.
understand music from like listening, like watching YouTube videos.
Yes.
Not gotten very close.
But for blues, it's
but with
different.
blues, it was when I learned blues, it was very different because there wasn't this whole 8 count, 6 count thing with like this count you got to do this and this count you got to do different kinds of things. It was more of it felt more like a theme of movement. Like it wasn't in the same structure. I'm not sure if it's just how I was taught, or it's how the dance actually is, right? But I've not gone to a blues dance where they tell you
what to do exactly.
They've very gone into the whole count system.
Blues is very feels. It's very feels based one. Like I mean, if you were to go into a blues tasters with us, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we haven't had one in so long. Even though we've been giving it so much thought, and it's such a shame we've not been able to impart it on people. But blues, the basic is very, very simple, right? Just 2 counts.
So
step, collect, feel it, transfer your weight. It's kind of like how you would move when you're singing a song, right? You sway.
Yeah.
I think with
My 2
blues, it's
steps.
kind of just that. Yeah, 2 steps.
Yeah,
as simple
which
as
is
that.
what you need to do, right? It's you don't have to do 2 steps, right? Like moving 1 feet
side by side.
You have to move from one way to the other. Yeah,
Side
exactly.
to side. Sorry.
And that is the basic. That was essentially the basic that was taught, and because of the lack of structure, it was very freeing in that sense. Because remember how we were talking about how we process the dance a bit differently. Blues came to me a lot easier because I didn't have the musical background.
Yeah.
Right. It was more intuitive for me. And this is just telling me,
be free.
That's all you need to do. Okay. I mean, it's not. You still, let's say if you start choreographing, you still need to know the counts and whatnot. But the social aspect of it was quite exactly how I was dancing already. And the moves came in that way as well. So it felt more freeing. That's why also a lot of fusion scenes out there. There are a lot of fusion dance scenes out there. Right? Which is mixing different dance styles. A lot of them have a blues background in it, or at least blues is in it in some form or manner.
The dance wall is very big, so like
I think it just works very well into the whole mixing because it's so watery. It's so
fluid.
It's kind of like genres of music. Yeah, it's like music genres, right? You can like go from one genre to another.
Definitely.
Like it's the same with dance, and I feel like for blues is. I mean, I love both Lindy and I love blues as well for very different reasons. Lindy because I feel comfortable. I've been doing it for a while. It's an easy-ish dance for me. For blues, it's still very challenging. I'm still learning, and there's a lot to learn.
Recently, we went to a camp, a 1-week camp in Koh Lanta with Adamo Wiki, and
blues instructors, like very good dancers.
And Bernard and Helen and Bernard, right? The whole camp, the classes we were learning were
nothing to do with moves.
Yeah, it was very little to do with moves, but it was to do with the emotional aspect of it, the historical aspect of it, the body mechanical movement aspect of it, right? But it was a lot of these things that just doesn't instruct you how to move, but
makes you think about how
just
you move.
It's not giving you the step by step.
Gives you different. It just gives you, lets you know the possibilities, kind of, or how to connect to the music better.
And I feel like if we were to do like blues classes, if we can, it will be more of that sensory. I mean, I'll give you basic steps, but like how you move, I'll teach you how to understand the music, listen to the music, and let your body move to the music. Because like blues music has evolved, right? It's gone from the very like intimate, just one man with a guitar and a juke joint, to something much bigger, like a big band, or even like female blues, women singing on stage. It's so different. Like the way you move from a small little juke joint to like a stage, it's so different. So like I don't really care about the moves anymore. I feel like it's just the feeling is more important. So then that in a way, so if you're new and you want to learn dance, right? It really depends on what speaks to you. Are you somebody who really needs a system in place? Maybe you should try Lindy Hop first. Or if you're somebody who's looking to have something a bit more freeing, there's also blues. But either way, I mean, you can start any way you can. These communities are very interconnected. You learn one dance, you can easily learn another. So it's quite fun,
Right, which brings me to like, how is the community like in KL so far, in Malaysia so far? Like, how do you guys?
Like now, or like now everyone's quiet,
pre-pandemic.
There's no dancing. Pre-pandemic, okay, so we have a couple of dance communities, swing dance communities. So you have the Balboa, you have maybe I think 2 Lindy Hop communities as well. You have a blues community. It's
you want to have a West Coast swing community.
Yeah, so different sort of music. They dance to more modern music. So it's a pretty big community, and it's constantly growing. I think
it's still quite new. It feels quite new.
It always feels new because people come and go.
It's not massive yet.
It's not mainstream.
Right.
It's not mainstream.
Just like jazz,
could be big, but it this.
Yeah. So if you want to go into something, like you want to feel like you're part of a new movement, you can still join in 10 years later.
10 years later, it's still a new movement. Swing is still a new movement. I don't know. In Korea, there are like 5 socials a night or something, and there are hundreds attending it. Like in Taiwan, it's very big as well. But in Malaysia, we always try to grow. I don't know why, but it is growing, just much slower. But it is growing, and it's a very nice community. So like I always like ask like, why do people stay in swing, right? And they always say it's because of the community. Like, been doing this for 10 years, right? And I think like 80% of my friends all come from swing. So I think most of our mutual friends are through swing as well.
I mean, we met there.
I think most of our friends are from swing. I think most of them are from swing. They're like a family at this point. Like it's great. It's a very welcoming community, and what's nice about swing is so like I know that we go to Saudi and we dress up, right? But like when you come to a social, we're kind of casual, right? You don't have to wear heels. Like there, women, you just dance in like toms or like flats. That's great. It's a bit more casual as a setting. There's no pressure to look sexy or anything of that sort. It's fun. It's a very welcoming, friendly community and scene, I would say.
I understand.
Yeah, because also we don't have a lot of experts here, so.
We don't.
We don't have like
you too lah
experts here. Like we
no
have.
I mean, like I think like in the world of jujitsu, I think we're probably like purple belts, but
good enough.
We don't have black belts here,
Yeah.
So the community is still quite open in that sense because you don't have a very huge authority to govern things, I think.
So it's
I'm not sure how to describe it.
I'm not sure what you're describing.
the community is like a little bit looser as well. People get to do things.
Exactly.
It's a very free.
It's a bit looser. Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah. It's nice. Like in other places, you have like these instructors with their studios, and like they really have the schools. Like
and you have to follow.
It's a bit more free flowing. But I think learning Lindy Hop in Malaysia is fun as a beginner. But I think as you advance, you probably do need to actually learn.
Yeah, that comes with its drawbacks as well, right? If you want to get really good, you might not have anyone to turn.
Yeah, so you need to go abroad. I mean, that's what camps are for. You can go to Singapore. There's plenty of resources online now. Right. So there's really no excuse to not improve. I mean, it's always still fun. Yeah, there's still always ways to go about it.
I understand. So one more question about dance and swing dance before we move on to, because we've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes already. So there's no such thing as, I keep it at 1 hour, but we can go more,
Yeah, it's all right.
for okay, this is just me and my perception on it, because like
Yeah.
dance, its essence, for me, it feels very feminine, like you have to kind of from a outsider's point of view, because you have to move, you have to, um yeah, like it's not like, whereas martial arts, on the other
Okay, you're
spectrum,
comparing
It
these
feels
two.
more
Yeah.
masculine, right?
it's very like, oh, this, dancing is like very sui the, that kind of thing. Yeah. So and I'm guilty of this as well. So one of the things that are stopping me from trying, and also I guess the root of my, as I'm thinking about this now, as I'm asking the question, the root, I figured out kind of what triggered my vulnerability a little bit, is being afraid of seeming too feminine or too little girl like, to try. Like, what if I don't look good doing these movements, and all these things are stopping me from trying, I guess. So what would you tell other people? Well, how do you guys view uh uh dance as a general, and what would you tell people who are very hesitant, or yeah, very hesitant in trying?
It's very interesting that I hear that you think it's like the feminine part actually stops you from doing it because you're a girl, right? But you don't want to be doing, seen doing girly stuff, is it?
Well,
Yeah,
to
it's
be
not like singing isn't exactly.
yeah, so it's very, very paradoxical in a sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's also how some girls feel about like martial arts. Right? Like, I don't want to go in there. Like, it's too low. They will say things like that.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, it's just you as a person, right? Are you open to it or not? I feel like actually there's a lot of, it takes a lot of courage to be something, to actually do something you're afraid
Oh,
of, right? Yeah, that's it. I feel like if there is really no incentive. Like I can't incentivize you to, like do this. I can't force you to do this. I can't sell this dance to you.
yeah.
I feel like this is something that you need to. It's a personal thing, like a mental thing. Like you need to overcome that block.
Yeah.
Like you need to want to overcome that fear. Why are you letting fear hold you back? I feel like fear is not a good thing in the first place, right? Right? If actually learning that dance will help you overcome that fear, or I feel like you should be doing it for that, not so much for the dance.
True.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about things. Like
Mm.
I feel like I'm sort of like, there shouldn't be a feminine masculine thing, or like or let it be a reason why you shouldn't. If there's a reason why you shouldn't, then you probably
Should do it
That's
even
how I
more.
feel. Like you shouldn't, because
Confront it.
yeah, confront it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't I just tell you why I like the way I enjoy, like how I enjoy the dance?
Yes, please.
Right. So like I think when I go dancing, one of the things that really nice about it is you ever had a very good conversation with a friend?
Yes.
Have you had?
Yeah.
You've had that, right? It doesn't come very often.
Yes.
Right. It usually comes when you're both just there to talk, right? With the intention of talking and like with connecting with each other. Right.
Yes.
And now imagine a place you can go where everyone wants to do the same thing. Right? Because like she was saying before, the dancing thing is a conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're connecting with another person. Using another language, the language of dance, language of your body's movement.
Yes.
But everyone is there to do the same thing. Everyone's there. They go to a dance scene to connect with you, to connect with another person, right? And the whole feeling of connecting with another person feels really good, right? Like if you're having a really good conversation, to feel really
You
good,
feel
right?
refreshed, you feel the adrenaline.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel the dopamines and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, right? That's what a dance scene is, right? So if you enjoy that feeling, you probably would enjoy dancing, like going to a place like that.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never thought about it that way. Because to me, like I kind of isolated dance as like just the movements. I have to do those
Yeah.
movements, right? But if I
Yeah.
put it in that context, but hearing you put it in that context, it's like just having another conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
get to do that and also move your body as well. Like
Yeah.
get in touch with your own body, right?
Yes.
Knowing how to move it.
I think you shouldn't limit your body. You really shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I think that different people would, I mean, different things would appeal to different people, right?
Yeah.
Like, like if a conversation, the idea of a conversation will appeal to you. For somebody like me, I don't think a conversation would be what I'm looking for, even though it's something I enjoy.
Mhm.
But I think for me, it's more like digging deep into why do you not want to have a conversation with somebody like that? Yeah, and figure that out. So like for me, my incentive would be different. It would be like, go for it,
Yes.
like yeah.
Confront it.
That's
Face your
so
demons.
yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of like with any activity you do, it's what you get out of it, what you want to, you put into it.
Yeah.
You ask the right questions, you get the right answers.
Right.
So it's how it is. Yeah.
Mm.
So you find what you're looking for. Yeah.
Understand.
Mm.
Make a promise like when everything is open already, because Yvonne has been telling me, come lah, come with me lah, Reza is also doing, that kind of thing, and I'm like, but I don't wanna.
It starts off scary, but it's, you find that you love the people. In fact, you already know half the people.
Like, can I ask like why don't you want to? Is it just the whole seeming too feminine thing, or
That is one aspect of it. Okay, so when I was younger, I did do ballet, and
uh-huh.
I didn't. Ballet is a very structured thing, I feel, especially when my teacher is always pushing us to go for exams and and then the whole aesthetic
yeah.
thing of like, you have to be very skinny, you have to be able to do splits, you have to do, these are those expectations from when I was younger of my body I couldn't achieve. I doing
Oh, damn.
point and things like that, and I'm not a slender girl to begin with, I'm Roro, that kind of thing. So always in the back of my head, it's like, if I dance, I won't look good, so it made me very self-conscious of my body, and even as a woman, even as a female. So wow, I just realized this is the first time I'm talking about it, and it's very vulnerable.
No.
But I think that's
It's,
one of the reasons why I'm very hesitant on about dance and movement. BJJ is different. BJJ is all of like, I go as hard as I can, I smash,
Smash.
pressure.
I always was like, die.
It's interesting because like I had an ex-girlfriend who did ballet as well,
Yeah.
which I tried to get her to come dancing, and she was quite the opposite of attracted to the idea, right? I think a big part of it was her ballet education as well. For her, it was really the whole competition aspect as well, like the competition aspect and the looking good
Yeah.
of it that drove her away. That didn't appeal to her
Right.
when she thought of dancing. Yeah. Did you go for competitions as well?
No, I was nowhere. I barely passed my exams.
All right, you couldn't do the split. Eh?
I mean, before I went into swing dancing, I had a background competitive line dancing, not lion. Somebody told me somebody beside me as lion dancing. So he asked me, "Are you head or tail?" I was like, "Head or tail? What are you talking about?" I was like, "Oh, line dancing." Yeah, I was in competitive line dancing, and I'm not talking about country line dancing, but line dancing is like so different. Okay, like it's got like basically any dance you want, but in lines. Like you want to do salsa, rumba, samba, everything in line. Fine.
Sorry,
Yes. So
I'm still stuck at
yeah.
you hit on tail.
I hate a tail. I'll probably be like tail are shorter, But okay, anyway, so I was saying, like I was because in being competitive line dancing, right? You work as a team. Well, I was in the team anyway, and I love working as a team, but I hate competitions because it takes the fun out of the dance. So I mean, like it's not fun. Like I don't like exams. I don't like competitions.
Exactly.
I like performing is fun, but competitions and exams, so it takes the fun out of things, and it makes you question how, because competition is really great for the people who are good, lah. Like if you're not, then what are you doing? Why are you here? Like you're not even here to win. Then what are you doing, right? And
Why put
what's nice
unnecessary
about Lindy
pressure
Hop
on
and
you?
why? Yeah, and for me, Lindy Hop, the moment I discovered it, it was so freeing because it's like nobody cares. Like it's like who you are. Like you can. It's like you're not here to win.
Yeah.
You're here to have fun.
Right.
I mean, please, I mean, as long as you're a considerate dancer, you know your things, and that's fine.
Right.
It's not about winning. So I love it. And the pressure is off.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something you would feel also like when you go in there. I mean, you probably still feel a bit like self-conscious at the start. Then you realize that everyone's too busy with their own things to actually care about how you do. Nobody, I don't dance and look at somebody else.
Oh, do they look good?
Not really. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you sit down and you admire sometimes, but
most people dance looking at the floor.
I always tell them don't look at your feet. Okay, there's nothing. I always tell dancers there's nothing you can tell your feet to do because they're gonna do their own thing.
Right.
But it's fine to.
You can look down there and say, "Why are you gonna tell your feet? Your feet is already moving. Too bad." So look up.
Right.
It's too late. So yeah, I mean,
I like to look down actually.
Yeah, but don't worry. I mean, the point is, everyone's so consumed their own problems. Nobody's gonna care about you. Yeah, so just have fun. Yeah, nobody's looking at you. Nobody.
Okay, Yvonne, I'll come with you next time. I'll come with you too. Also,
we will look out for you. We won't look at you. We'll just look out for you.
I would love to. I would. I mean, I've tried also.
Soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
When things open up.
Hey, so many people from Jujutsu have already tried swing, man. It's like the guys have tried swing. I mean, Stuart has tried it.
Really?
You didn't know Stuart did it?
No.
Yeah, let's do it. We had Ian also. Mike tried as well. So I mean, everyone's tried it. And guys have tried it. So can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can lah. Okay lah. When these things or when things are a bit more calm,
Yeah. I mean, you probably enjoy it, and I'm pretty sure it'll benefit your other creative pursuits as well.
Yeah, I
most definitely.
I was just thinking like when I'm singing, I'm always just singing and like two-stepping and swaying. If I could actually use more parts of my body, right, it would connect more to, because I view voice as okay, they say voice is an instrument, but I view the whole body as an instrument. So if I could connect more to it, I think it would definitely help my singing and especially stage presence as well, that kind of thing. So
probably, and I think it will also help you deepen your understanding of music, or perhaps it's even widening your community, because like I said, dance is more than just you, me, or the music. It's a community. So we have a very supportive community. So you never know, things would cross over. Yeah.
Looking forward
help
to
benefit
it.
Music.
Yes. Then you guys come for singing classes, okay?
I think he's very interested in singing classes, man. This guy.
Lie. Ken, we can talk about these things. All right. So one
karaoke kings and queens.
Sorry.
I'll be karaoke king and queen.
When things open up, the first thing we're gonna do, I just need to hold a mic. Like I haven't heard my own voice through a mic in so long. Like I'm like, yeah.
Do you not have a karaoke set at home?
No, I live in an apartment. My neighbors are gonna kill me.
Weekends, man.
I know already, like with our acoustic piano, right? We have an upright at home. Like by like 10:30, latest 11, we stop already. Even with the soft pedal, downstairs could still hear because of the touch. That kind of
Wow.
thing. Yeah,
Pianos are percussions anyway. It's a percussion. The hammering is gonna roll everywhere.
exactly.
Oh well.
So if I get a karaoke set, they're gonna kill me. Okay, so I think I have a few more for you guys before I let you guys rest, and then tomorrow's
No worries, no
Monday.
worries.
So what are some of do you guys have separate hobbies? Because like Peru, for you, I know you have your sewing, you have yoga, things like that. Jeng Foong, I don't know too much about you guys. So what are some of the separate hobbies, and how is that? How important is that for you guys? Because you guys dance together, you guys do jujitsu together. I see your videos. You guys are adorable, and like yeah. So how important is that for you to do things alone versus not versus and together? Oh, I think the mic got turned off. Sorry, guys. Cannot hear anything.
Can you hear us now?
You hear us?
There we go.
What's
Right,
the question? How important it is to do things together versus alone? Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we do have a lot of things in common, which we do together.
媽媽會寫你好一樣喎你好夾喎。
好夾but I think I mean sometimes it's nice also to be able to do things on your own because you don't need a partner. Like it gives you the freedom to do things. Like I like you said, I do sewing, I do yoga,
Yeah.
I paint, I so many things.
Right.
And I mean, he's still there in the process, right? Because he's very encouraging. When I sew things, I'm like, well, how does this look? And he's like, no, it needs to be shorter here, or it needs to be longer here. Like, he's still part of the process. In like, but I think it's very important because I feel like it's also something that not everything you do should be together. I feel that you need to feel like you are capable on your own. Yeah. And
So
I say it gives you the
Jeng Foong?
freedom to do things on your own. Now you don't always have to wait for the person to be available to do it as well. Yeah.
Right.
I've not actually thought of that. This.
What are some of the hobbies that you have outside of the relationship? I guess.
Well, I started doing some driving range golfing. Before the MCO
Jom,
ended.
next time we go. I'm also
you
a
golf,
driving
is it?
driving
right.
range golfer. Don't
Right,
ask
that's
me
cool,
to
that's cool.
hit on the grass.
Yeah, let's do it together. Yeah,
You
I actually
and-
have a driving range like walking distance from my house, so maybe you can come over.
Puchong, right?
Yeah, Puchong.
Oh, so far away. She's like Puchong. Then after that, you go to the Puchong gym and roll there as well.
Yeah. With Max, you've met Max, right?
Yeah, there's so many small girls there.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of girls in our gym compared to yours, I think.
They're so good.
A lot of beginners as well. So.
But but the small girls there are all so good. I remember I grappled with this girl who was 16 and I ended up panting for 30 minutes, man.
But she's at the age of 16, she has unlimited amount of stamina and oxygen,
I know. I was almost double her age. I'm like,
she has the power of youth.
I was shaking.
Yeah. So driving range, golf, yeah.
What else are your other hobbies that you have on your own?
Can't think of any.
Your
actually.
podcasting thing. You've been doing the podcasting thing. You've been experimenting with it as well.
It's just playing around. I think just friends. Not really big hobbies or anything. Yeah, just
different things that you're trying.
Yeah, like I'm in a kind of a transitional phase of my career where I'm trying to try a few new things to mix things up with it. So I'm trying a few things. Like
start a podcast.
That's
Do
the plan.
Because I was about to tell you, Jeng Foong, you have a very a deep resonating voice.
Resonate.
It might be the microphone actually, because we were testing it out earlier and she sounds so different. She sounds like her voice sounds a lot deeper in this mic than in real life.
Oh,
It's okay. You
No,
haven't heard Mike during her podcast.
our fault.
I've seen an episode.
This black guy who is very white, but I mean, no, but you do have a very. I mean, like I listen to him speak, and I think you're quite eloquent. The words are pronounced very well.
Yeah.
And the
And
mic
your
helps, I
tone.
guess.
Yeah, like some people's tone, right? Some people's tone are very shallow and very flat, so it just stays. It just captures the highs of the person's EQ, But for
Right.
you, it's quite
Awesome, holistic, round.
yeah, round.
My job is okay, guys. My full time job is a copywriter. So I'm just throwing words out.
Synonym.
Thesaurus every day. That's my life.
Thesaurus. Yeah, so I think starting a podcast would be a good avenue to showcase
I actually
your voice.
plan to, like, I'm in the process of, I bought this mic for a reason, so
Yeah.
maybe you can join my podcast next time.
Okay. And then you can tell me when to shut up. All right. So one last thing. Actually, two last thing. How is okay? All right. I think I might get the name wrong, but is it Guinness?
Genus.
Genus. Sorry.
Genus, right?
Please tell everybody what you have, what you both have.
So genus, spelled like Guinness, but mispronounced as genus. He's our chameleon. It's a chameleon he got me for my birthday last year. I think it's almost a year. Well, it's almost been a year already. Because my birthday is 25th September. And
we got it at 3 months old, so it's around a year old right now.
Show him a birthday party. But anyway, yeah. So Genius is our chameleon, and wow. Okay, so like I would call he's okay. I grew up with dogs, right? And chameleons are nothing like dogs. They don't like the sort of affection, the attention. They are very like still very new sort of pet, very exotic pet. So
They're
Why
not
a
a domesticated
chameleon?
animal.
Why? I've been going to the pet shop and I'm like, oh my god, so cute, look at a chameleon. He's like, next thing you know, he bought me one. Here's the thing, when I expressed how much I thought chameleons were cute, I did not know what the hell they ate. I always thought chameleons ate vegetables and berries and shit like that, right? No.
They do.
Ours don't. Okay, I'll get back to ours, right? But point is, chameleons live on a diet of insects. So their staples are usually crickets. I hate crickets. They jump at you and they smell.
Crickets, worms,
Yeah,
roaches.
So yeah, I did not know that. So when we first got the chameleon, and I was like, oh no, they eat crickets? Oh, we're gonna buy crickets. How are we gonna? I don't want
That
to
was
touch it.
when you should have returned it.
I mean, it's a birthday gift. And I was like, I feel like one of those people, like, I don't know, it may not be a fair comparison, but if you got pregnant already and you just have to like deal with it,
Good to know you're that kind of person, Pei Ru.
no choice, okay? You committed to this thing, right? So okay lah, right? So like I had to learn how to deal with insects and all that lah. But yeah, so fun fact, we have stopped feeding him crickets. We feed him roaches, and specifically a type of roaches called dubia roaches. We actually breed them in this house in a box.
So you have a box
of roaches.
We have
of insects.
We have hundreds of roaches in the other
We have
room right now.
hundreds of roaches in the other room. They're just we bought them and we bred them. So and we feed them like a really healthy diet of like carrots, vegetables, oatmeal. Yeah. And we feed those to our pet. So I don't know which is my real pet. My real pet could be the ones in the other room, not the one that's sleeping already. Gina sleeps at like 7:30 sharp almost. Sunrise, he's up, sundown, he's gone. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I would bring him into this room, but he's holding on to the branch and he's got like death grips and he's a very heavy
I saw
sleeper.
he's like this. Eh,
No,
eh.
just two. Just
It's
two.
more like
Oh,
like
just
like
two.
that. Yeah, yeah, just two. And
Eh.
he holds on and he would not wake up. Like we have like built an entire cage around him and he
Mhm.
has not woken up. He just woke up to a new cage. He said, oh, okay.
There's one
Like
time he fell.
yeah, just once he fell and he was still sleeping.
He was sleeping upside down, holding himself up like.
He went from like this to douche, and he was just still sleeping. Like opening an eye would be like a defeat for him. Already. It's like it's like admitting defeat.
I
He's
need
like,
to
no.
sleep through this.
That is him. Like honestly, like he really isn't the most affectionate pet.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are a lot of things I do like about having a chameleon. Like they are they're really nice too.
Fascinating.
They're very fascinating, and I feel like they're just basically us when we're grumpy. Like it's like
It's very weird because he like looking at him. It reminds me of how much we just judge things by the cover sometimes, right?
Mm,
It's 1 year old, 12 months, right?
yeah.
You handle him, he feels like an 80-year-old person. He feels like a geriatric.
Huh?
It
In what
moves
way?
slow. There's a lot of
Oh,
wrinkles. Like it's always got like a frown and a
he's always
like it's sick of the
giving it a
world
stink
already.
eye.
it looks so
Yeah.
angry. It just hates. It looks so like angry and judgy all the time.
But it's also it's cute old man moments as well, like
Right.
every morning we take him out of the cage and we put him in the other room.
By the window.
Yeah. We have this little small tree facing the window. He'll just be sitting out there looking out the window at the view
For hours.
for hours and he looks completely content.
That's it. That's all he wants. He's just
So happy.
looking like I think chameleons with most reptiles they like to be high up.
I'll give my left kidney to be that content.
Good to know.
Really, like, he's always very envious. So he walks out the room. He's like,
他在爽什么？
he's very content. He just sits there, Yeah, but unfortunately, like we do need to put him back in the cage because he has his heat requirements as well. Like we do need a heat lamp, and he has his UVB. Is it UVB?
It's a similar sunlight.
Yeah, similar sunlight. So like chameleons are very interesting animals, and when they fall sick, it's very hard to tell as well. Like that's the thing about chameleons. You don't even have like a lot of vets that treat exotic pets here. So I did go all the way
Right.
to Subang, and yeah, so it's been a very interesting learning curve like having a chameleon. Like, would I
Yeah.
recommend it to people if you have the capacity to deal with this stuff? But like, it's fun.
Mhm.
It's been fun. Yeah. He's very cute.
Aw.
Yeah.
Aw.
He hurts. He's very painful. He looks very harmless, right? He looks like very slow,
Yeah.
right? Walao,
Slow, very like, look
those
with the
nails,
eyes.
you will
He
cry.
has nails?
Yeah, it's claw mittens.
It's like looks like a mitten, but there are nails at the end of it, and that's how he holds on to things. That includes your skin, and just like, and when he pivots his weight, oh, wow, pain, man. So yeah, I mean, I find him very amusing, but he's also very painful.
I really enjoy scrolling through, and when you post stuff of
Yeah,
Guinness, right?
yeah, Janus, yeah.
Guinness. I would love to see him in person one day, but he stays at your house.
You come here when MCO is over, and then you can feed him berries. He loves blueberries. It's so weird.
Okay, berries can. Worms? It's okay.
No. He loves berries. Like I think you probably saw the video where my sister had like a bracelet full of like black colored beads,
Uh-huh.
and he was shooting at the bracelet thinking it was berries, and we were like, oh my god.
He thought it was berries.
He wouldn't eat any other vegetable or fruit. Like I've tried feeding him different things, but he's like, nope, only blueberries.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So which comes to I cannot even English anymore, guys. I'm sorry.
Fine.
Which brings us to the last I'm trying this new thing called rapid fire because it started out as a music music podcast, and
Mm.
eventually I was like, I need to learn more about this world through other people. So I started inviting other people, and thank you both for agreeing to do this. I really
It's a
learned a
pleasure.
lot. Thank you. So this thing is called I want to tie it back to music again.
Sure thing.
Rapid fire. First, thoughts that come to your brain, you vomit out. Okay. So, first question: top three favorite artists, music artists of all time.
Freddie Mercury. I actually love Hanson, you know that. And I love the Bee Gees.
Ooh, you're an old soul.
I am
Okay.
so old. I put Bon Jovi in there, but I only had 3, but okay.
Only three. Jeng Foong, what about you?
Arctic Monkeys,
Ooh.
Frank Turner, and Billie Eilish, I guess. I,
Ooh.
I don't really have a strong idealism kind of like I just like a lot of things. I go through trends, like I go through phases. Like I listen to someone for
A
new
long-
music
a
for
while.
like I'm obsessive over it, right? I'll
Mm.
keep listening to it on repeat, and I'll get
Mhm.
sick of it, and then I'll move on to something else. And yeah,
Same. And after a few years, you're like, oh, this, I used to love this. Let's play it again. Once every few years already.
We've been listening to Zhang Dongliang. I don't know how it came up. I think we were watching the movie and then we were like, oh, Zhang Dongliang.
Okay. So then, which brings us to the second question: current favorite song.
Dreams by Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying I was listening to Zhang Dongliang, so I would say 黄昏 because it keeps coming up in my head. I don't know why.
How does it go again, Huang Hun?
Oh shit, I
黄昏的路上天
Is that Zhang Dongliang?
Is it Zhang Dongliang? It's right, Nicholas.
I thought that's Zhou something Jian.
No, it's Zhang Dongliang, right? That's him, right? Nicholas Teo.
Ah.
I don't know.
Is it Zhang Dongliang?
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know the tune, but my Mandarin isn't power enough to actually say out the words. But yeah, that song has been stuck in my head. I'm gonna Google now if Nicholas Teo is Zhang Dongliang. I'm pretty sure it is.
Because Teo is lah, I think.
Oh,
I Google it.
Nicholas Teo is what does it say? Wife. I don't care about his wife. I want to know what is his name. Yes, I'm right.
Nicholas Teo
Nicholas
is.
Teo, correct. Yes.
Okay. Then third question is one Malaysian
Okay, what's your favorite
artist
song? That's your favorite song?
Current favorite. It's playing. Sorry.
current
Interesting.
favorite song.
Yeah. So what's that's it?
The next one Malaysian artist that inspired you. It could be dance, it could be film, it could be music.
Oh.
Pei Ru.
Oh,
Ayo.
this is the only time I see you guys.
What is that? Malaysian artists. Well, that's just tough, man. That's very tough, isn't it? I feel like this makes me wonder, like, oh my
I
god,
don't consume a lot of local content.
I've been idolizing so much, like, foreign content. We can't even
Yeah.
answer what like a local artist is. I'm pretty sure there is. It's just like I don't know who. We can board it. Our friend, I'll put Reza Saleh there. Just throw him there.
Can lah.
I mean, there is definitely. I mean, like you could say with Joe, like
Thank you.
I mean,
Yvonne.
but a bit.
There probably are some for me, but then I don't think the first word I associate with them would be artist. Maybe there's some different sort of artist, but you just don't come to mind right now.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of admiration for political artists now. I mean, I don't want to go into that, but yeah.
Okay.
I do. I can say that there are a lot of my friends who come into mind, because I do come from an art school. And a lot of peers who are, they're not popular. They're not famous for their own art yet, but they
Yeah.
they do work on their craft. So just some of my friends,
Mm.
yeah,
They are artists, like
yeah,
artist
yeah,
doesn't mean like celebrity
yeah, yeah,
level.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, okay. Oh, that's cool. That's a very thoughtful answer.
Mm.
Okay, two more. What does music mean to you?
A feeling in time, feeling captured in time, yeah, or yeah, or a feeling in time that has been captured. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what
Mm.
music.
Music means song and songs.
After all the very deep answers you've been giving this whole podcast, you come to that. Music means song.
Something you can sing and dance to.
Lip neighbor.
Suddenly he becomes a simple guy. You are.
Yeah, I
Shall we
don't know.
stick with that answer?
I'm sticking with that answer.
Okay. Okay, one last thing, and I'll let you guys go. An artist you'd recommend to our audience today?
What sort of artist?
Any.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Richard Linklater.
What's that? Oh, who
He's
is
What is
that?
that? What is that?
He's a director of some quite not very popular movies, but his movies are always pretty good.
It's not popular. Like, have you seen the Before trilogy? Have you heard of it? Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before
Yeah,
Midnight.
no one knows about it.
What? Wow. Okay, people who know about it love it though. Like, you should you should watch it. It's a beautiful
Okay.
trilogy. It's filmed 10 years apart. These three movies. Yeah, so that the actors grow. Yeah, if you have nothing to do or like you feel like going. I love his movies because it's like it's always about this couple and basically their journey through life or whatever. But the way it's filmed, it feels like you're kind of in you're kind of like third legging the third wheeling third legging. Well, that sounds horrible. You're third wheeling. They're wheeling the on their date, like you're kind of
Right.
like because they're just having a conversation and you're just kind of following them.
Right,
It's
right.
it's very
He's quite experimental when it comes to his movies,
yeah.
but in very successful ways, I have to say.
But I
Yeah.
love the Before trilogy. Give that a go. I
Aw.
would recommend this lady called Rachel Bloom. Rachel Bloom. So like I grew up loving and idolizing women in comedy and entertainment. So you know Fran Drescher, the nanny, right? You know the
Yeah.
nanny. I
Yeah.
love that woman. I love her. I feel like she's funny, her creativity. She's producer, she's actress, she's all that.
Yeah.
And I think the new generation there, this woman called Rachel Bloom, and she is the creator, writer, actress in this series called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. So yeah, and she's very musical theater oriented as well. So in the movie, in the series, in every episode, there'll be two songs.
Right.
Two songs, song and dance. So they just break down the song and they address very relevant and current issues.
Yeah.
So they talk about a lot of things that I mean I don't think it's safe to say on it, but it's great. It's great. As a woman, you will feel it. I love it. So like I feel like very vocal, entertaining women who can make problems and kind of turn it entertainment. It's quite fun. I like Rachel Bloom. Just check her out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I that's why I also really love women stand-up comics. Like I feel like they're so, oh, like yeah,
It's
understand.
a different way of saying it's telling the truth, right? I mean, like being a woman is
Yes.
hard. Being a woman is hard, and it's nice to be able to relate and empathize. In not always a crying way, lah.
Tell me about it. I've cried so many times. Anyways, okay, so let's wrap this up. Is there anything else that I should have asked but I didn't, or anything else that you guys wanted to share but I didn't ask?
I think I want to share something. Like I feel like you're never ever too old to try something new. I think that's so important. Come on, like we go to jujitsu, we go to dance. Like I've seen people like 60, 80 coming to the dance, and it will change your life. You change people's lives, and just do it, man. Like,
Yeah.
like give it a go. Give it a go. You never know. It's never too late. Yeah, to try something new.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I will keep this. Jeng Foong, what about you?
Yeah, come dancing. I want to dance with you.
Go dancing when it's available. I mean, like you can. I mean, there are a couple of pages people can follow to know about the dance community in Malaysia. So
Mm.
there is the Lindy KL Facebook and Instagram. There is KL Swing. There's Blues Dancing KL. Just come follow us, and then we'll keep you guys updated lah.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, and I so on. But anyways, thank you so much to both of you for sharing. And
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
anytime, I remember the first time I asked Pei Ru, I was like, "Hey, do you guys want to do a podcast?" And then he was like, "I only live and breathe and do what to talk about." Yeah, but like I feel like it's not just about the big achievements, or like different status or like different level. Like each person has their own story to tell how they live their lives, and like through you guys, I've actually learned a lot, not only about dance, but how you guys see the world through dance, and then after that expand out, things like that.
Yeah,
So
and how we're similar actually. I feel like Joe, like you and I, when we go, how we approach jujutsu and how it benefits our pursuits. I think it's very similar. I feel like it's nice to hear that also. Yeah, from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting perspectives.
Thank you. And I love doing this. I hope that we could, do a part 2 in person in the studio so that we get, proper equipment so that I can feel like Joe Rogan again,
Yeah.
I saw the blue light, got lights. Yeah,
That was a very cool setup.
Yeah. He was very impressed by the setup.
Yeah, I was quite disappointed that we couldn't get the little tea set in the middle this time.
That one's from the restaurant downstairs. I
is
bring
it?
it up. But next time I'll bring you guys around. Like Pei Ru, Jared, right? That's Jared's studio actually.
Yeah. Jared also come about
Yeah.
jujutsu, right? He was did he come? He come? He did. Yes. He did.
Yeah.
I'm
And
getting
then-
all my circles mixed up because everyone is doing everything now. I've seen you here and there and here.
Yes. So where do you belong? Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing
Thank you,
this.
Joe. This was fun.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what you've heard, if you like my maniacal laughs. And the a bit of anyways, I hope this was interesting. I hope that you guys learned a thing or two, and if you do like it, please share it with your family and friends, and until next time, bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Hi.